So let me try to explain this board in technical specifications without trying to be boring, so that everybody understands exactly what's going on. It's April 4th, still snow on the mountains over there. This is Vermont, but I'm up in the AM and I'm waiting for that skateboard shop over there to open up, but they're a little late because I don't think they want to be up in the AM either. So I figured I'd take this opportunity to show y'all what's happening with the board. The reason why I built this board out of, as you can see, 3 snowboards, 1, 2, 3, was the problem right in here. On a normal skateboard, the wheels are back here and the wheels are about right here. Well, the trucks are over here, so the wheels are about right here, and you can get wheel bite. Like when the wheel hits that part of the board, you stop dead and you go flinging off the board. So I was trying to avoid that. There's a lot of ways to do it, but essentially none of the ways allow, as far as I could see, allow somebody to have a stance on the board, which is, well, put it on the ground here and show you what I mean. Like I like to stand about like this. So most skateboards are only about this long, or maybe like this. And what ends up happening is your feet either go over like this because it's a pintail design, or they get in the wheels, or you just can't do it. So what I needed was a board this long to be able to just stand on it the way I wanted to without being all cramped up. So I had to get like either wood or something to do that. But then we get into the problem of this area right here. If it's wood, you've got a piece of wood that's only this thin, and you've got to mount the trucks into it, which then create weakness where you have to drill through to hold the truck on. Without the truck, the skateboard won't be a skateboard. So I thought to myself, well, what's strong enough to have something thin enough for right here? And the reason why it has to be that thin is these wheels will go down like that when they're turning, and you'll hit the board. But if you don't want it to hit the board, you've got to cut this part out, and so you end up with only a section this thin, like about 3 inches. And 3 inches of wood is going to be too weak to hold all of the force required to stand on the board, put the trucks on, drill them, turn, and go down hills really fast. So I needed some other kind of material to do that. So instead of going out and getting metal, which would cost thousands of dollars, I just found 3 old snowboards, bolted them together with skateboard bolts so that they just won't pop out, cut out these sections. And I did that with my first board, but I only cut it out to like that wide, called up the company and said, is it strong enough? And he said, well, I guess so, which didn't make me feel too safe. So that's why I used 3, because with 3 of these things, you've sort of got the 3 things. They're all right here. It is guesswork, I'll admit, but then, so was the technical genius at the skateboard company's guess that something that wide would work. That's why my old board was only 1 thickness wide. And that's why this one is 3 thicknesses wide. So then you say, well, it weighs a lot. Yeah, it weighs 17 pounds. And, you say, well, gee, I don't know if I can really ride a board 17 pounds. Well, I ride it all over the place. So the whole thing about 17 pounds is people think that they can't kick flip this part up. So let me show you whether I can kick flip this part up just on here. And watch what happens. I step on here and the board comes right up like that. Of course, I'm not a kickflip genius where, you jump on the board, you do this little thing, and then the board comes off the ground by 3 feet or whatever. But when I had my 7-ply hard rock maple board, some guy came by on a little board and I said, it's probably a lot harder to do this on a 7-ply maple board. And he says, oh no, it's not hard at all. And he went whizzing down the street, he kickflipped it a million different directions. He was a real trickster, and I was like, wow. Of course, I never got into the kickflipping aspect, which is why I don't care if it's 17 pounds. There's a couple more bolts there. Everything works just fine. I've taken it down a lot of the hills, and this is what it looks like from the top. It's got kickflip ability here and here. It's 153 centimeters long, which is about 5 feet. You could probably run it over with a truck and it would not break. I mean, you know, one snowboard alone is designed to hold a 250-pound guy without snapping going over ice and rocks. This is 3, you know? And that's kind of the board I wanted. I wanted a board that could do everything I wanted it to do, still be safe. Hopefully it is. I mean, it's just guesswork on my part too, but, you know, one genius's guesswork is as good as another's, or whatever. And you'll find out soon if you read about me in the papers. I also put on Randall 50 trucks for tighter turning ability, but I'm looking into putting on some original S10s, which I've got half of. Well, I'll probably show you a video of me using it today when it warms up a little bit. It's still only 45, but I rode it over to the skate shop, so that's interesting enough. See you around.